I can talk like Tommy Doherty as well. Who would have guessed that he'd be the voice of Rockland County Track and Field?
He once told me a story. Right after 9/11, we used to have meets up at West Point. And he was scrambling from the many of the 1,000 things that he's done. And he went up through Stony Lonesome Gate, and they pulled him over and got him out of the car, and they say, "Sir, what are you doing here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm the announcer at the track meet." They're like, "Yeah, right." I mean, if there was 100 people, 100,000 people in a room, they all spoke and said, "Who are we going to pick to be the announcer at track meets?" We got Tom, and now everybody knows his voice, and he is truly the voice of Rockland County Track and Field in Section 1 and even New York State. Everyone out in the Armory now is also appreciating, and Ocean Breeze, everything that he's done. Before I get started, I need to give a shout out to the girls over there, because they said I got to give them a shout out. They would nag me to death if I didn't do so. All right, let's start off with congratulations to all STAC's track and cross-country athletes for all that you've accomplished this year and past years. To fellow alumnus Marianne for being honored here tonight, and to all of you who are kind enough to support St. Thomas Aquinas College Track and Field this evening. This is really a neat thing that you guys do here. Upon hearing from Kevin, by the way, Kevin also works for me at camp. He's my basketball director. He goes through this, for someone as the Irish tan that he has going, he must go through 4 gallons of sunscreen a summer. Upon hearing from Kevin and Lauren that I was to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award, a few things ran through my head. The first was, why was Kevin playing a joke on me? You can ask Kevin what my usual response to him is, but you may have to do it in private because it's inappropriate. The second thing that I asked myself was that after they honored Larry Beckerly a few years back, they're likely to ask anyone, given the height of the bar that he established. And the third thing that ran through my head was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, although a high honor. It really means only one thing. It means that you're old. And if you're around long enough, you can get a whole bunch of wins. I like how they go in Rockland County in Section 1. They only count your wins. They don't tell you how many times you've lost. So if you're around long enough, it looks good. But as my depression slowly passed and the reality of receiving an award from STAC, an institution I graduated from long before most of these young folks were even born, I was truly humbled. How great is it to be given an honor for doing something that you love to do? Teaching and coaching kids about something that you are passionate about, it's not really a job. Now, I've been involved in track and field since middle school, 48 years. You can do the math to figure out how old I am. And despite being in great shape now, I wasn't a half-bad runner back then. I was a hurdler and high hurdler and intermediate hurdler. Ran 400 for TZ under Coach Pat Amato and Coach Z, Coach Bob Zucker. Pat Amato actually ended up leaving TAP and Z and went out to Colorado and started coaching one of the first girls track and field teams in Colorado state history, and went on to win multiple state championships in Colorado. Z ended up in Monroe Woodbury as a math teacher and as a track coach. Now, whether I realized it or not, my philosophy of coaching was established by these coaches and by the brotherhood that the sport fosters. These two coaches, like many of the other coaches around us tonight, love the sport of track and field. As a matter of fact, anyone who coaches track develops this passion. We spend wild amounts of time engaged in everything from planning practices, scheduling, getting buses, preparing meet entries, writing college letters, helping kids with personal issues, purchasing equipment, and at the high school level, getting some to come out for this great sport. As a teacher, you can always find us roaming the hallways, looking for that diamond in the rough and grooming him or her into a stellar competitor. And it's unlike other sports in high school where the kids, it's the glory sports. We work for a living. But this is who I am. By the way, back in the day, computers didn't have size 15 font. So I'm actually reading this kind of without my reading glasses, so if I miss a word, I'll put my glasses back on. But this is who I am, this is what I do, this is the profession I have chosen, and I have no regrets. In a way, track and field kind of defines me. But what was this magnetic pull? Was it the 2 to 3 hour practices in the rain, snow, the cold, the wind? And oh, how I hate the wind. Or is it the 8 to 10 hour track meets, where I developed this wonderful profile and a keen taste for hot dogs? Or perhaps waiting 20 minutes to an hour for kids to get picked up after a meet and we arrive back at South High School. We've done the calculations on this, and apparently I've spent 29 days of my entire life outside Clarks down south waiting for parents to pick me up. But upon thinking about all the years that I have been involved in track, the one common thread is the sense of being a part of something, being part of an extended family, being part of something greater than times or distances. Before I get into deeper, I have to thank my immediate family, my lovely wife, Kathy, who is only 100 years older than me, who has spent over 30 years being alone on Saturdays, but recognized that this is something that I needed to do. Now, she asks me why I don't have a meet, or why I'm home so early. She has seemed to truly adjust very well. I have my 3 wonderful boys who are attached to my heart and make me smile every day about the directions they are headed. 2 of my sons, who are here tonight, ran against my Vikings as Pearl River Pirates. I'm especially proud, I didn't know Chris was coming, I'm especially proud of both my boys, but I'm especially proud of my youngest, Kyle. And he's going to just, Kyle is going, if you all know Kyle, he's so effervescent, and he is totally going to hate what I'm going to say here. I'm especially proud of my youngest, Kyle, who is now a Spartan, and whose heart and drive makes me proud every time I see him run. I am so very proud of you, Kyle. He may not be the fastest runner on the team, but no one has the passion for the sport that he has. For those of you who know Kyle, you can see him running at any time of the day or night, any place, for hours on end. He is a regular Forrest Gump. For anybody out there who wants to know, we just, before Christmas, I kind of tricked my wife into getting a dog. I figured I needed a dog when I retired. And it's a cute little puppy. And Kyle just literally melts when this dog is for anybody who doesn't know Kyle, he is so passionate. He just loves this dog. We're trying to shift that over into the other 2-legged girl type. Henceforth, Kyle hating me standing up. But I do live to talk my sons at all times. I'm also indebted to my brothers Hugh, Stash, Steve, and Bill, who along with my father taught me that hard work is the only way that things get done. I have shared this with my teams throughout the years, and it has become the backbone of my professional career. My brother Steve is here tonight with his lovely family. Wave your hand over there, Steve. Steve is 72 years old. Doesn't he look great for 72? He's not really 72. That's his line that I stole. But he never let the truth get in the way of a good story. That's his line as well. But thank you guys for being here. The passion, heart, and caring attitude that I have fostered over the years most definitely comes from my loving mother, who I hope is watching this from heaven with a smile on her face and a cup of tea in her hand. Almost fantastic. The greatest thing about coaching are the relationships that we establish between teammates and between fellow coaches, both friend and foe. Some of the great coaches in Rockland County history are here tonight. And I have worked, some of the great coaches I've worked with are here today, and some of the great coaches that I have competed against that have made my teams better are also here. Coach Biddy, I can tell you a whole bunch of stories about Coach Biddy, but when I first started coaching back in the mid-'80s, late '80s. You know, my team ran against Kobe. He was a legend. He was one of the great coaches. STAC is truly lucky to have his expertise out there. And when I first started coaching, I was a young guy, and I saw, you know, Joe Biddy walk around, and the SOP never said a word to me for like 3 years. And then all of a sudden, Mark Davis is over here, a couple of my good runners, and all of a sudden I had something. I had a team that was going to beat his, and he kind of knew it. And here it was, and we were at a meetup at RCC. That was the big place that everyone ran all the time, not anymore. And Joe starts walking to me. I'm like, he's finally going to say words about me. This is so great. He starts getting closer, and he looks at me and goes, "Hey, kid, give me that pencil." And he took my pencil. He never even said a word to me. He still has the pencil. But STAC is truly lucky to have him. He's a world of knowledge in track and field. It is a sense of team that has become the most important thing that I've tried to convey to my athletes over these past 34 years of coaching. Competing for each other, not just yourself. The idea that the name on the front of the jersey is more important than the name on the back. I've always had the most pleasure as a coach when I saw athletes who had no idea what a commitment track and field was turn into the most competitive and accomplished athletes our state and country have ever seen. I am the proud papa of these ladies and gentlemen I have coached. They have made me proud of being their coach by the men and women that they have become and by all that they have accomplished on and off the track. It's not just about winning, although that was pretty good too. In conclusion, remember, my brother Steve said this, and we always, our father and my mother gave us this great adage in terms of what you do in your life. And I'm going to convey this to all you young student athletes who are going to step out there in the real world. Show up every day. Do the best job that you can every day. Some days are going to be better than others. But remember that we're all in this together, in this world that we live in. We're in a family in life. We're in a family of this great sport, and we are all part of the STAC family here tonight. And I thank you for this wonderful honor this evening. Go Spartans.